Alright guys, number 6. Number 6 says, if 4 grams of element G reacts with 7 grams of element M to produce 13 grams of a compound with the formula G3M4, and the atomic mass of M is 160 AMU, which just means grams per mole, what is the atomic mass of G? Okay, so we're dealing with some stuff here we haven't seen before, right? There's no element G, there's no element M. These are just variables, right? It doesn't really matter. We're not actually going to see that really doesn't do anything. So, first things first, when you see two things are reacting and they make a product, you want to write an equation out. So I know I have some amount of G plus some amount of M reacting to make G3M4. Okay, well, we know when we write our equation, we want to balance our equation, right? So I see I have 3 G's and 4 M's. Well, I'm going to keep the 1 there, and I'm going to put a 3 here and a 4 there. And now that balances my equation. So that's that. I also know I start with 4 grams of this, 4 grams of G, 7 grams of M, and I make 13 grams of G3M4. So this question is pretty common on exams, so you might want to pay attention to this one. One thing I would say is you start with 11 grams and you make 13 grams. That actually doesn't make any sense, right? How can we start with something and make more product? That's spontaneous combustion. That doesn't really happen. But it doesn't matter. We're going to go on with the problem anyways. So we also see that M has 160 AMU. That's going to be important now because what we're actually going to want to do is we don't even care about this number here. We want to find out, right? The question is asking this. What is the AMU of G? Well, I know that I start with 7 grams of M, and I know there's 160 grams of M for every 1 mole of M. Remember, AMU just means, atomic mass units means grams per mole. So for every 160 grams of M, I have 1 mole of M. I also know that for every 4 moles of M, I have 3 moles of G. Right? Using a mole-mole ratio within the equation, I know for every 4 moles of M, I have 3 moles of G in my equation. And lastly, I'm looking for my AMU here. That's good. So we're actually going to do something different you probably haven't seen before. We're actually going to solve for something in our stoichiometric table here. So I'm going to say for every 1 mole of G, I have X grams of G, and this number should give me the 4 grams that I'm going to pull out of here. So it's a little different this time. We're not actually solving for the end. We have the end. We're just looking for one piece of our table. So if you were to go ahead and work this all out and solve for X, right, you would 7 divided by 160 times 0.75, and then 4 divided by that number. You will get an answer of 122 grams, or answer choice number 2. So remember, for this one, we were solving for something inside the table. It's a little different, but you got to kind of try to work your head around the question.
The Teaching Center, UF's Learning Resource Center.